Welcome back to the English Playbook. I'm David, and this is where we turn everyday English into your superpower.
And I'm Sarah. Today we're diving deep into money talk. And trust me, after this lesson, you'll never be broke when it comes to financial vocabulary.
Speaking of broke, Sarah, I think I owe you coffee money from last week.
You definitely do. Let's kick off with our vocabulary spotlight. David, what's our first power word?
Recession. R-E-C-E-S-S-I-O-N. Sarah, break this down for our listeners.
A recession is when a country's economy is basically having a really bad time. Think of it like the economy caught the flu. Everything slows down, companies make less money, people lose jobs, and everyone tightens their belts.
Perfect analogy. And here's a pro tip. In a recession, you'll often hear phrases like the market crashed or unemployment is rising. These are your context clues that recession talk is coming.
Our second spotlight word is broke. B-R-O-K-E. Now, this doesn't mean something is physically broken.
Right. I'm broke means I have zero money. It's informal but super common. You might say, I'm completely broke or I'm going broke.
And here's the thing. Broke is temporary. It's different from poor, which suggests a longer-term financial situation. Okay, that took a dark turn, but there's so much golden vocabulary in there. Let's break it down.
First up, loan. L-O-A-N. When you borrow money, you're getting a loan. Don't confuse this with a loan, totally different meanings.
Next, mortgage. M-O-R-T-G-A-G-E. This is a special type of loan specifically for buying property. Notice that T is silent. It's mortgage, not mortgage.
Here's a phrase that's pure gold. Hit me pretty hard. This means something affected you strongly in a negative way.
Listen to these examples. The flu hit me pretty hard. I was in bed for a week. My breakup hit me pretty hard. The recession hit small businesses pretty hard.
And tuition, T-U-I-T-I-O-N. This is the money you pay to attend school or university. In the U.S., college tuition can be incredibly expensive.
Time for fluency builders. These are phrases that'll make you sound like a native speaker.
Instead of can I help you, try what can I do for you. It sounds more professional and natural.
When you need to politely interrupt or ask for something, say, I'm sorry to trouble you, but it's way more sophisticated than just sorry, but.
Listen, can I trouble you for a moment? I'm sorry to trouble you, but could you help me with this?
And here's my favorite. On top of all that, use this to add another problem or benefit to a list.
I lost my job, my car broke down, and on top of all that, I got sick. Or positively, I got promoted, my team won the championship, and on top of all that, it's my birthday.
Let's talk cultural differences around debt, because this varies wildly around the world.
In North America, debt is almost necessary. You need a credit history to prove you can borrow and repay money. No credit history? Good luck getting a mortgage or car loan.
Banks literally set up booths at universities offering credit cards to 18-year-olds. They give away free pizza and t-shirts just to get students to sign up. But in many European countries, debt is viewed much more cautiously. In Switzerland, for example, you might need to deposit more money than your credit limit just to get a credit card.
It's fascinating how this same financial concept can be seen as essential in one culture and dangerous in another. Quick practice time. Sarah, I'll give you a situation. You respond using today's vocabulary.
Bring it on.
You lost your job, you have bills to pay, and you need money. What do you say?
This recession has hit me pretty hard. I'm broke and in a lot of debt. I need to pay my mortgage, and on top of all that, I have credit card bills. I might need to ask for a loan.
Perfect. You use almost every key term we covered.
Now, let's talk about where you'll actually use this vocabulary in real life, because that's what the English Playbook is all about, practical application.
First scenario, watching the news. You'll constantly hear phrases like, The recession has hit the automotive industry hard, or unemployment rates are rising due to the economic downturn.
Or reading financial articles online. Headlines like millions of Americans struggling with credit card debt, or mortgage rates climb as housing market cools.
Here's a personal story. When I first moved to the US, I went to a bank to open an account. The banker asked, "Do you have any outstanding loans?" I had no idea what outstanding meant in this context.
What did you think it meant?
I thought he was asking if I had any really impressive loans. Like, wow, that's an outstanding loan. But outstanding in finance means unpaid or still owed.
That's such a perfect example of why context matters. Speaking of banking, let's do a role play. I'll be a bank loan officer. You be someone applying for a mortgage.
Great idea. This is practical vocabulary in action.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. I understand you're interested in applying for a home mortgage. Can you tell me about your current financial situation?
Well, I'm currently employed as a software engineer. I have some credit card debt, about $5,000, and I'm still paying off my student loans. The recession hit my previous company pretty hard, so I was unemployed for 6 months last year.
I see. And what's your current monthly income, and do you have any other debts we should know about?
My monthly salary is $6,000 before taxes. I have a car payment of $350 per month. And on top of all that, I help pay my parents' medical bills, about $200 monthly.
Breaking character. Perfect. Notice how naturally David used our key phrases. Recession hit pretty hard, on top of all that, and all the debt vocabulary.
Time for our pronunciation clinic. Sarah, some of today's words are pronunciation traps for English learners.
Absolutely. Let's start with the trickiest one, mortgage. It's M-O-R-T-G-A-G-E, but that T is completely silent. Say it with me. Mortgage. Mortgage.
The mistake I hear most often is mortgage with that hard T sound. But in English, we say mortgage. Think of it like mortgage smushed together.
Next up, recession. The stress is on the second syllable, recession, not recession. Listen, recession, recession.
And tuition, the stress is on the second syllable too. Tuition. The two sounds like two, not ta. Tuition.
Here's a tongue twister using today's vocabulary. Charlie's credit card created crisis, causing considerable concern.
Charlie's credit card created crisis, causing considerable concern. That's harder than it looks.
One more pronunciation tip. When we say I'm broke, that broke rhymes with joke, smoke, woke, long O sound, not brock or brook.
Let's level up with some advanced expressions related to money and financial struggles.
These are phrases you'll hear native speakers use all the time. First one, living paycheck to paycheck. This means you spend all your money as soon as you get paid with nothing left over.
Ever since I lost my job, I've been living paycheck to paycheck. It suggests financial stress and no savings.
Here's another, drowning in debt. It's more dramatic than just in debt. It suggests you're overwhelmed and struggling to stay afloat financially.
After my medical bills, I'm drowning in debt. Very visual, very powerful.
How about tighten your belt? This means to spend less money, usually because times are tough.
With the recession coming, we all need to tighten our belts. It comes from the idea that when you lose weight, spend less money, you literally tighten your belt.
And one of my favorites, rob Peter to pay Paul. This means borrowing money from one source to pay another debt.
I used my credit card to pay my student loan, basically robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's a cycle that often makes financial problems worse.
Let's not forget about strapped for cash. This is a casual way to say you don't have much money right now.
Sorry, I can't go out tonight. I'm strapped for cash. More polite than saying I'm broke.
Time for a listening challenge. I'm going to tell a short story using all of today's vocabulary. David will ask comprehension questions afterward.
And listeners, try to catch every financial term we've covered today.
Here we go. Maria worked as a restaurant manager until the recession hit her industry pretty hard. When customers stopped dining out, her restaurant went bankrupt and she lost her job. Suddenly, she was broke and drowning in debt. She had credit card bills, a car payment, and needed to pay her daughter's college tuition on top of all that. Her mortgage payments were due, and she was living paycheck to paycheck with her unemployment benefits. She decided to ask her brother for a loan, but he was also strapped for cash. Maria realized she needed to tighten her belt and maybe even sell her car to avoid robbing Peter to pay Paul with her debts.
Wow, that story was packed with vocabulary. Let me ask some questions. What caused Maria to lose her job?
The recession hit the restaurant industry hard, and her restaurant went bankrupt.
What debts did Maria have?
Credit card bills, car payment, mortgage, and her daughter's tuition.
Why couldn't her brother help with a loan?
He was also strapped for cash, meaning he didn't have extra money to lend.
Perfect. That story demonstrates how all these financial terms connect in real-life situations.
Let's dig deeper into cultural attitudes toward money and debt around the world, because this affects how people communicate about finances.
In Japan, for example, there's a cultural concept called avoiding meiwaku, not being a burden to others. So asking family for a loan might be seen very differently than in other cultures.
Right. And in many Latin American countries, family financial support is expected and normal. Asking your parents or siblings for help isn't shameful. It's just how families work together.
In Germany, there's a saying, nur bares ist wahres, which means only cash is real. Germans traditionally prefer cash transactions and are very cautious about debt.
Compare that to American culture, where using credit cards for everything is normal, and having a mortgage is seen as building wealth, not just taking on debt.
These cultural differences affect business relationships too. If you're working with international clients, understanding their attitude toward debt and credit can help you communicate more effectively.
And in English-speaking countries, we have different levels of politeness when discussing money. I'm a bit strapped for cash is more polite than I'm broke, which is more casual than I'm experiencing financial difficulties, which is very formal.
Let's tackle some common mistakes English learners make with financial vocabulary.
Mistake number 1, saying, I have a big debt instead of I'm in debt or I have a lot of debt.
We don't usually say a big debt. We say, I'm drowning in debt, I have massive debts, or I owe a lot of money.
Mistake number 2, confusing lend and borrow. Remember, I lend money to you, you borrow money from me.
Right. Can you lend me $20 or can I borrow $20 from you? Both are correct, but can you borrow me money is wrong.
Here's another one, saying I'm poor when you mean I'm broke. Poor suggests a long-term financial situation. Broke is usually temporary.
And please don't say I have no monies. Money is uncountable. I have no money, I don't have any money, or I'm out of money.
One more. It's student loans, not student loan, when you're talking about the general concept. I'm paying off my student loans, plural.
Before we wrap up, let's give our listeners some homework to practice this vocabulary in real life.
Assignment number 1. Watch one English news video about the economy this week. Count how many of today's vocabulary words you hear.
Assignment 2, read one article about personal finance in English. Write down any new financial terms you discover and look them up.
Assignment 3. Have a conversation with a friend or language exchange partner about money management in your country. Use at least 5 phrases from today's lesson.
And assignment 4, practice the pronunciation of mortgage, recession, and tuition until you can say them without thinking about the spelling.
For advanced learners, try explaining the difference between a recession and a depression in your own words. This will really test your understanding.
Let's do one final lightning round of all our key vocabulary. I'll give definitions, Sarah gives the words.
Ready.
Money borrowed from a bank or person that you must pay back.
Loan.
A period when a country's economy is doing badly.
Recession.
Having no money at all.
Broke.
A loan specifically for buying a house.
Mortgage.
To Money paid to attend school or university.
Tuition.
The total amount of money you owe.
Debt.
Now reverse roles. Sarah, give me some phrases.
Affected you strongly in a negative way.
Hit me pretty hard.
In addition to everything else.
On top of all that.
Polite way to say you're interrupting or asking for help.
Sorry to trouble you.
Professional way to ask how you can help someone.
What can I do for you?
And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive into financial English. We've covered vocabulary, pronunciation, cultural insights, real-world applications, and so much more.
Remember, learning vocabulary isn't just about memorizing words. It's about understanding how they fit into the culture and context of English-speaking countries.
Whether you're reading financial news, applying for a loan, or just having a conversation about money troubles, you now have the vocabulary tools you need to sound confident and natural.
Don't forget to practice. Use these words in your daily life, even if it's just talking to yourself about your own budget or financial goals.
Before we go, let's do one final lightning review of our core vocabulary. Recession, broke, loan, mortgage, debt, tuition, hit me pretty hard, on top of all that, sorry to trouble you, what can I do for you?
Perfect. And remember, if you enjoyed this episode of the English Playbook, subscribe for more vocabulary adventures and drop a comment telling us about financial vocabulary or attitudes toward money in your country.
We love hearing from our international listeners about how these concepts translate across cultures. Until next time, keep playing with English, keep practicing, and remember, with the right vocabulary, you'll never be broke when it comes to communication.
Thanks for joining us on the English Playbook, where we turn everyday English into your superpower.